Over the past few years, you've probably noticed Reddit popping up everywhere. Whether it's dominating Google search results or answers from AI chatbots that trained on its content, everyone wants a piece of what Reddit has, which is real people having real conversations. That's more than I can say for LinkedIn, which has devolved into a self-congratulatory torture chamber for people who pretend for a living. Just like the Oscars, with over 1.3 billion global users and a content archive that stretches decades, Reddit is now a top 5 domain on Google and the single most cited source across AI search platforms, including ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Google's own AI overviews. That means what people say in a subreddit today, good or bad, can influence how countless people view your company tomorrow. And many marketing teams are taking note, making Reddit a top priority. The only problem is that most of them are going about it in the wrong way. And that can hurt you, even if you're doing everything right or not on Reddit at all. For example, if you're marketing a dating app that you vibe coded in your parents' basement, you can create an AI agent that instantly jumps into any Reddit thread about dating and have it recommend your app as the solution. Then again, if you're vibe coding dating apps in your parents' basement, your AI agent is probably better suited to give dating advice than you are. But that's besides the point. Now, marketers aren't just using these tactics to promote their own products. They're using them to tear down competitors too. So whether they're boosting their brand over yours or actively trashing yours by name, this stuff can hit you from all directions. And according to Cornell University research, it's incredibly easy to pull off. A single Reddit comment, as short as 13 words, can change what AI search tools recommend across an entire category of queries. A recent study from Siege Media and Pangram found that many Reddit threads cited by AI search engines appear to be AI generated themselves. Unsurprisingly, marketing and SEO threads led all industries, with 26.4% flagged as AI written, followed by B2B SaaS at 20.8%. Also a big shocker. Because AI chatbots love to pull information from Reddit, many marketers are trying to game the system so their brand appears in AI search results more often. Some tactics are simple, like mention seeding, where people casually name drop brands and products in posts and comments. On the more sophisticated end, bad actors are deploying AI agents that automatically monitor subreddits and reply to any thread containing specific keywords. As with most black hat marketing tactics, they work until they don't. Both Reddit and Google have been clamping down with bans and ranking penalties respectively. Even if some of these posts slip under the radar undetected, they might fool AI, but they're not fooling actual Reddit users. That's because Reddit is about contribution over interruption. So whenever a day-old account jumps into a subreddit to promote a product or drop a link to a mixtape, it rarely ever ends well. Reddit has always been a community-first platform. People are there to have real conversations without being sold to, and marketers need to respect that. That's not to say that you can't use Reddit for marketing, but it does take a whole lot more strategy than simply showing up and shilling like Shaquille O'Neal does for basically every product imaginable.
This is how I go from Shaquille to Shaquille. Get it?
Without further ado, here are 4 tried and true Reddit marketing tactics that won't get you downvoted. Number 1, social listening and engagement. Start by monitoring conversations about your brand, your products, your competitors, and your space. Plenty of tools do this like Brandwatch, Sprout Social, or even Google Alerts. But I'd recommend going right to the source by using Reddit Answers. It surfaces conversations across every corner of Reddit, including posts, comments, and communities that fit your niche. It even suggests related topics that point you to places you'd never think to look. And trust me, there are tons of weird places on Reddit, like cool sticks, wolves with watermelons, and happy crying dads, which sounds a lot like me, minus the happy part. Just be transparent about who you are and who you represent. because nothing kills trust faster than pretending to be someone you're not. Just ask Mark Zuckerberg. Number 2, run AMAs in target subreddits. Find the subreddits that are thematically related to your products or services and offer to do an AMA, or an Ask Me Anything. For the uninitiated, an AMA is basically a live Q&A between a guest and members of a subreddit. Done right, an AMA is a trust builder. It puts your brand in direct conversation with the people who matter most and shows that you're open, confident, and accountable, which goes a long way nowadays. But it can also backfire if you go in unprepared. Before you offer an AMA to any subreddit, you should research what your brand sentiment looks like in the forum's history. If the general vibes in the community are bad, an AMA might not go the way you imagined. If the coast is clear and you commit to an AMA, be prepared to truly answer almost anything. If you deflect questions or just use the AMA to explicitly promote your business, you're going to have a bad time. Woody Harrelson's AMA became a legendary meme after he refused to engage with anything that wasn't a plug for his movie. Ooh, that's a tough one. Go see my movie. Pro tip: use a tool like TalkWalker, BrandWatch, or Reddit Answers to identify common concerns around your brand. That way you can be prepared if they come up. Number 3, build your own community. As marketers grapple with declining social media reach, shrinking search traffic, and a deafening influx of AI-generated noise, community marketing has become one of the biggest priorities for 2026. And for good reason. Half of US adults cut back on social media in 2025, with even more expected to follow this year. At the same time, Sprout Social found that 51% of consumers plan to spend more time on community-driven platforms in 2026. At the same time, Sprout Social found that 51% of consumers plan to spend more time on community-driven platforms in 2026. That figure jumps 63% among Gen Z and avocado toast gobbling millennials like myself. When it comes to community marketing, Reddit is the obvious place to begin. Beyond its massive user base and broad influence, Reddit is built for creating communities and discovering them, making it super easy to attract new members organically. There are 3 ways to approach building your own subreddit. If you already have a strong user base, build a community around your brand. If you're still in the early stages of growth, build one around a topic closely tied to your brand. For example, as a healthcare marketing consulting firm, I might create a subreddit dedicated to healthcare marketing rather than Grippi Media itself. And if you own a media property like a podcast, YouTube channel, or even a newsletter, that can become the foundation of your community too. The biggest advantage of running your own subreddit is creating a place where people with shared interests can connect and learn from one another. As a community grows, members start posting content, answering questions, sharing experiences, and helping each other. Your job shifts from creating every conversation to simply cultivating the environment that keeps it thriving. Pro tip: the hardest part is getting your community off the ground. So to build momentum early, consider partnering with creators and thought leaders in your space. Invite them in for exclusive content or AMAs and give people a reason to show up. And number 4, Reddit ads. This one's pretty self-explanatory. If you're not ready to fully commit to spending time on Reddit, you can spend the next best thing: money. Reddit ads are one of the most overlooked options out there, which keeps them cheap compared to other platforms. But cost isn't the reason to run them. The targeting is. Every platform lets you target interests, sure. But Meta and Google infer yours from what you've tapped or scrolled. On Reddit, people signal their interest by joining and posting in communities built around them. Believe it or not, a lot of Redditors aren't active on other major platforms. So to a certain extent, advertising on Reddit is like capturing incremental reach. But out of all the platforms, the audience on Reddit probably has the least tolerance for irrelevant ads, since the culture is all about preserving authenticity. So it's doubly important to ensure your targeting and messaging are on point. Pro tip: Be sure to turn comments off on all your Reddit ads. No matter how good your targeting is, you're inevitably going to reach someone who doesn't want to see your ads, or any ads for that matter. If you forget to turn your comments off, you can expect to see some not safe for work replies because, well, yeah, I guess you can't please everyone. Reddit is one of the last great places on the internet, not just for users, but marketers too. That's because it's a place where humans can curate their own experiences based on their interests and exchange real insight and value with each other. No dodgy algorithms or posts from companies you don't care about. As such, marketing on Reddit requires a softer, more natural strategy. In fact, don't even look at it as marketing. Look at it as participating. If you can consistently bring value while respecting the culture, you'll find that the juice is always worth the squeeze.